Once upon a time, there was a group of vultures who embarked on a journey and arrived at a secluded island situated in the middle of the vast ocean. The island proved to be a paradise for the vultures, teeming with an abundance of fish, frogs, and various other sea creatures. Food and drink were plentiful, and the absence of predatory animals meant the vultures could live without fear. They were overjoyed with their newfound home, never having experienced such comfort before. Most of the vultures in the group were young and began to believe that this island would be their permanent dwelling. They saw no reason to venture elsewhere, convinced that they would never find such an idyllic existence elsewhere. However, amidst the contentment, there was an elderly vulture, distinguished for his wisdom and experience. As he observed the vultures reveling in their comfortable lives, a sense of concern washed over him. He understood that while their current circumstances were ideal, this life of ease could potentially dull their survival instincts and render them ill-equipped to face adversity. Without challenges to overcome, they would fail to comprehend the true nature of life's hardships. Troubled by this realization, the old vulture resolved to address the group and share his apprehensions. Summoning all the vultures for a meeting, the old vulture voiced his worries. He expressed that they had been dwelling on the island for an extended period and believed it was time to return to the forest they originated from. He emphasized that their present life lacked challenges, hindering their preparedness for future difficulties. However, the young vultures disregarded his concerns, assuming that the old vulture's age had clouded his judgment and led him to utter such nonsensical notions. Firmly convinced that the island was their permanent sanctuary, they outright refused to abandon it. Undeterred by their dismissive attitude, the old vulture persisted in his attempts to make them understand. He implored, "Why are you all ignoring the importance of my words? If we remain here for too long, we will grow accustomed to this excessive comfort, forgetting how to fly. When adversity eventually befalls us, how will we cope? I beseech you to listen to me and accompany me back." Regrettably, his earnest pleas fell on deaf ears, and he found himself abandoned by the rest of the vultures. Several months passed, and the old vulture couldn't shake off his desire to visit his erstwhile companions. He took flight and returned to the island, only to be confronted with a sight that filled him with shock and sorrow. Life on the island had undergone a drastic transformation. The carcasses of vultures were strewn everywhere, many lying lifeless with wounds and injuries. Bewildered, the old vulture approached an injured vulture and inquired about the calamity that had befallen them. The injured vulture weakly responded, "After you departed, we continued to lead blissful lives on this island. However, one fateful day, a ship arrived carrying a horde of wild animals. They aimed to convert this island into a habitat for themselves. Initially, they posed no threat to us, but after a few days, they realized we had lost our ability to fly, rendering our talons and beaks feeble and ineffective. They seized this opportunity to slaughter us one by one, feasting on our flesh. Our current condition is a consequence of our failure to heed your warnings." The old vulture listened to the injured vulture's account with a heavy heart, realizing the gravity of his earlier admonitions. The vulture's disregard for his wisdom and their prolonged stay on the island had indeed resulted in their downfall. The absence of challenges and the loss of their inherent survival skills had left them defenseless against the predatory wild animals that ultimately overpowered them. The old vulture couldn't help but lament the consequences of their refusal to listen, as the vultures paid a grave price for their complacency and ignorance. The story of the vultures teaches us several important lessons. Firstly, complacency leads to vulnerability. The young vultures on the island became too comfortable and neglected the need to be prepared for difficulties, leaving them vulnerable when faced with a new and challenging situation. Secondly, adaptability and resilience are crucial. The old vulture understood the importance of adapting to different circumstances and being resilient in the face of challenges. but his wisdom was ignored by the younger vultures. Thirdly, wisdom should be valued. Dismissing the insights of older and wiser individuals can lead to negative consequences. Lastly, preparation is essential. The vultures' inability to fly and weakened physical abilities left them defenseless against the wild animals that arrived on the island. Applying these lessons in real life means avoiding complacency, appreciating the wisdom of others, preparing for challenges, and developing adaptable skills and resilience to overcome obstacles in various aspects of life.